Dionisio at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Swakowski, the big right-hander, lets it go. It's right down Broadway. Dionisio lets it fly, and it's raining now.
It's time for Rain Delay Theater with Jeremy Dionisio and Jack Swakowski.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Rain Delay Theater, the podcast where two bums talk about other bums at baseball games. I'm Jack Swakowski.
And I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
And we're here to recap another Rays game for you. It's the Rays versus the Cubs from September 12th, 2025 at Wrigley Field. Previously, the Rays were seen on the south side at the Sox Stadium, but they went up north for this game. And Jeremy, we caught them both times. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first time we've ever done that with a team where we saw them on the south side and then the north side, or vice versa?
I want to say we did with the Pirates. Maybe.
Okay.
Like when
yeah.
You remember when Anthony Alford hit those 2 homers?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
But usually we don't do it because the teams don't do that usually. Like it doesn't happen too often. But like I think we saw Anthony Alford hit like 3 homers in 1 week between the 2 stadiums. Yeah. So I think there's that. I can't remember anyone else per se, but yeah.
Yeah, and this was good, too, because the Rays were good for us on Tuesday, the couple days before. So I think we had some high hopes for this one, that we would be able to maybe run the table on all of the guys we had cards for, or at least, feast a little bit more than we even did on Tuesday.
Yeah, right. And I think you had said last week that you had gone back the day after and got some more guys.
Yep.
So, yeah, you were getting pretty close to getting all the cards that you had for Rays signed.
Yeah.
They had made a couple roster moves in between that Tuesday game and the Friday game, so more to come on that. But one guy that was demoted was Joe Rock.
Yep.
So Dennis, I don't know if Dennis ever got Joe Rock, but he wasn't going to get him Friday. Speaking of Dennis, I guess we got in line, and this Jack, we entered separately, correct? Is that right?
We did. So I ended up a little bit behind you. There were kind of a lot of people at the gate. Although I got there a little bit. I didn't get there late, but I probably got there at 11:45 for an 11:50 gate. So
yeah.
I was kind of back a ways, and you were in the front, and we made contact by waving at each other. But you were way ahead of me, so you got in first.
Yeah, right. So I got in, and I got through security, and I was kind of like just kind of gathering all my things and kind of like ramping up to go into the stands, up to the stands, down to the field. And I see a guy running out of the corner of my eye, and it was like an older guy, and he had like a little kid with him. And I'm like, damn, like who the hell's this guy? Like racing to graph. And then like, I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but then like a second later, then like he ran past me, and I was like, oh, that's fucking Dennis. and then he got down to the spot first, and then I came in right after him, and I go like he saw me, and I'm like I didn't know it was you at first. I'm like oh, hey, we got a runner here, and and he's like, oh yeah I got the grandkid with me or something, I don't know, but yeah, so then we got in place pretty quick.
Well, Jeremy, it's funny that he wouldn't even acknowledge you while he was trying to run to his spot. I mean, I know he left his buddy in the dust the other day, but that's just kind of his MO.
Yeah, for sure. So it was funny. I didn't even, this is an occurrence, again, like I do feel like I pretty observant. I like noticed a lot of things. I didn't even see him in line, so it totally snuck up on me. And he did just kind of come out of my peripheral and just like zoom past me. Even with dragging a little kid behind him, he was still like, getting in there.
Yeah, and Jeremy, I guess we might as well bring this up now. Like, it's just something that needs to be talked about on the podcast. But you, me, and Chris are in just a text thread, and there's Chris found a photo of Dennis, and I mean, I feel like we do a good job of capturing like who Dennis is on this podcast, so that if you were to imagine what he looked like, you would sort of whatever he actually looks like is perfect. I think we encapsulate it. But this photo, Jeremy, that he found of Dennis is just, it looks like a professional headshot, but he's graphing.
Yeah, no, I know. He found that picture. I mean, it's professional quality. So he found that somewhere online, like on some team's like official site, or like.
Do you think that's where he found it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
my
where the
gosh.
hell he would have gotten that picture. I think he, it's probably whatever. Let's say he was getting Christopher Morel. It's probably like a shot from like the Rays, spring training facility or something with Christopher. It's like Christopher Morel signs for fans, and like
Right.
Dennis is in the background, and then he just like cropped out the player, and it's just him. and like this picture, so it's been a while since we've since I've used the term like standard issue human, but
Yes.
again, that's just Dennis, and he's got the fire in his eyes, like he's got the look, as Roxette once said, but he's got that killer instinct, like that cutthroat graphing look, that sometimes is obscured by his giant Oakleys, but not in this picture. I think he's got his sunglasses on his head maybe in this picture. And
He does. I'm looking at the picture right now,
Yeah.
and the sunglasses are like perched on his head.
yeah, and he's like looking, he's just like, it's almost like, what the hell, are you not gonna sign for me? Of course you're gonna sign for me. Like he's got this like look on his face. And yeah, I think it's a recent picture too. So like I don't know where the hell this picture came from, man.
No, and Jeremy, like there's a guy that you can see in like on the left side of the picture. You can't see this guy's full face, but like he's kind of looking at Dennis and smiling. Like I feel like that picture was, when it was taken, like what he was doing. It's like he was either like complaining about somebody that didn't sign, or like just a whole team that's not signing, or he's getting an autograph, like, and he's saying something to a player.
Yeah.
Like those are the three options of what he was talking about.
I've seen Dennis's son before, and I'm like, this maybe is Dennis's son, but he looks kind of young in this picture. This person looks kind of young, but Jack, you know what? Honestly, I'm looking at it closer now. It's a super tight shot. It's a close up shot of Dennis, really.
Yeah.
Maybe someone did fucking take this picture of. I mean, there's no human on earth, like, unless his wife got like a professional camera and took a picture of him, like, this is what my husband does, like. Who the fuck would take a picture of Dennis? But like, it does, like, because if it was zoomed in, it would be a little more pixelated. It's like a pretty high quality picture. But where the fuck did he get this picture from?
I don't know, man. And of course he's just getting autographs in it, right? Like, some people are like pictured next to like a tree or something, or I don't know. It's just like
in front of a statue or a landmark or something. Yeah.
Right. Like he's just getting autographs. But it's perfect. So if you're a friend of ours and you ever want to see what Dennis looks like, we have this picture now.
Yeah. You can email us at raindelaypod@gmail.com, or probably better is to send us a message on Instagram, and we could share this picture with you. But it's crazy. Yeah, it is funny. I kind of was just like amused by it at first, and I made it the picture of our. Well, I guess I should just say it. Listen, we're fucked anyway if Dennis ever finds this. So like, I called the group text, I called it the Sons of Dennis Graphers group. So me, Chris, and Jack were the Sons of Dennis. Right. And I made it I would like wanted a picture to make it the main photo of the group thread, and so like after Chris sent that, I made it like the group photo.
No, I just noticed that. It's perfect. But so just I think we maybe said that there was going to be lots of Dennis stuff in this episode, and there is.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, he's already in the park. So you guys were both already there, along with I think one of his grandkids.
Yeah.
When I got in. There was a lot of there was some goofy stuff going on in the outfield again. I don't know if it's the time of year where like the teams that are out of it just kind of fuck around and like do weird stuff. I mean, we saw Mitchell Parker throw that ball in the stands. This time they had I think it was Edwin Uceda and I don't know if it was Rasmussen or Adrian Hauser maybe. It was Hauser, but they were playing catch with a
Fairbanks.
football.
It was Fairbanks and Uceda.
Okay, Fairbanks and Uceda. Yeah, Hauser was in the outfield, but he wasn't. He was running sprints. So yeah, it was Fairbanks and Uceda who were like playing football. But Jeremy, it was not. They were throwing lame ducks. Well, as you would say.
They were like maybe there's a couple like tosses back to each other, but then they started like running patterns. So like it was like Fairbanks was a quarterback and Uceda went out to run a pattern, and Fairbanks just airmails him. He just throws it like 10 feet past his head, which is funny. Like Fairbanks is kind of a weird guy, which we'll talk about in a second. So maybe he was just joking around. So then they switch, And Fairbanks goes out and runs a pattern, and Uceta throws it, and he throws it over his head too. So it's just like, it's just funny watching two baseball players, two pitchers, try to play football with each other and just taking turns airmailing it over each other. It's like, no, they did not improve their wide receiver skills at all, because there wasn't even a ball like in play for them. It was just funny to watch.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like they were not throwing spirals. Like if this mattered and they were in a race, like it does seem like it would be kind of easy to like stub your finger like on a hard thrown ball or something. So it just not if it mattered at all, it would not have been something you would have wanted to see your team doing. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. It's like, I know that like players throw footballs around. Cade Horton does. I mean, he used to play football, I think. Maybe he did. I don't even know if he did or not, but like, I think he did. There's somewhere in my mind I have that. So, like maybe high school. Yeah. And so Todd Helton played football. I'm trying to think of some other guys. John Elway played baseball, but he did. Like I don't know. And like there's the famous upper deck card of Nolan Ryan throwing a football, like with a football, right? And so players do it. I'm a little surprised as a coach that you would let your pitchers do it. But I guess for guys who played football before, you're like, okay, they know what they're doing. But Uceta and Fairbanks did not seem like they knew what the fuck they were doing with this football. And it's like, hey, dude, you guys are pitchers. Like, take it easy. Put the football down and just do what you know best, which is baseball. It was funny. It was just funny to see. Yeah, it was good. And so we ended up getting a couple of those guys to come over. So Hauser did come over, and he did sign for us. Yeah. We had both gotten Fairbanks. Uceta signed for us too, so that was cool. Him and Fairbanks, I think, were signing at kind of the same time. And so we decided to re-up on Fairbanks. And Jeremy, I think you were able to call Uceta back over and get him to sign. But Fairbanks, we re-upped on him, but he's an interesting guy. Yeah, he was. He so I think the first thing we said, like, we were like, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, but someone said like, hey, Pete, do you have time? Right? Mm-hmm. And he goes like, yeah, I got time. He's like, what time is it? And then like he was like, I don't know if he was like looking for a watch or something, but then I think someone did tell him the time, but like it was weird. Like it wasn't clear if he was saying that rhetorically or he literally wanted to know to see how much time he had. That was kind of weird, right? Like I'm trying to. I think he wanted to know what time it was. Like legitimately, actually. Yeah, and there aren't really. I don't think there's any digital clocks in Wrigley, but there is the big clock on the scoreboard, which maybe he just didn't like see or recognize. It could have been his first time playing in the stadium. It might have been. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, it was funny, and I think someone said I might have even said, I don't even remember, but. Someone told him the time, whatever. He came over and he started signing. I did have 2 cards out. I was trying to make good on him because the one got smudged. I think I talked about it last week. And it's kind of funny. I put out that same card, which was like the flagship, like paper card, the regular card. And I had opened up one blaster box of Topps Chrome, and I had actually pulled the Chrome version of that Pete Fairbanks card. So I was like, I put that one in. I put both of them in there, basically. And I was kind of like, I figured maybe he would do both. But I was like, I'll put the Chrome one in there. Like, maybe I'll do that one because I already have the other one. But whatever. I was kind of okay with whatever he signed. And he kind of went to go for the paper one. And I pointed to the Chrome one, and he signed the Chrome one. Mm-hmm. And then Dennis was next to me. And then he goes to sign for Dennis. And Dennis has, like, he had, like, maybe, like, the same card, the same flagship card, and then a heritage card. And I think we've talked about this before, but like, okay, so Chrome cards are like, they're called Chrome, but they're really plastic. They're shiny, like metallic looking cards. The flagship cards are on like white card stock that is glossy. So sometimes you have to prep those. The heritage cards come on thick cardboard cardstock. And they're the most similar to like old baseball cards from like the 80s and 90s and early 90s, like the early 90s and above. And they do end up being like the best cards to get signed because they don't need any prep. The inks like looks good on them and everything. And so, like I said, Dennis had a heritage card and a flagship card out, and Fairbanks goes like he signs the heritage card, and he's
He's like, yeah. He's like, always get those signed. The cardboard, like it looks the best on those. And it was just funny they were saying that to Dennis, but it's just funny that he was like giving like an insight. And I don't think, I'm pretty sure he was saying it to Dennis. Like he wasn't saying it to the little kid. And it's funny. Dennis is the last person who you probably need to tell that to. But Fairbanks has a point, and it's like it's cool that he's like thought about it. But like probably an adult has figured this out at this point. Like if you want to say it to a kid, like that would be helpful. But it was funny just to hear Fairbanks being like aware of it, I guess.
Yeah, and also, kind of cool, too. It seems like he likes to sign.
Yeah.
So, I had mentioned that one card I got was a little messed up, so I was glad to re-up on him. But I feel like I could get that Heritage card signed again, like the one that was messed up maybe next year, without a problem.
Jack, we should definitely try to make an appointment to go to see Rays at White Sox next year. Like, just based on how good this year was, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that should be like a team for sure that we try to graph at the White Sox.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you take away that one messed up Fairbanks, I got 17 autographs this weekend, between those 3 games. So I'll take that any day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy when you think of it like a 26-man roster.
Right. Absolutely. 2 of those were Cash and the Snyder, but still, like 15 out of 25 guys is insane. So, yeah, hell yeah. There was more autographs to be had. The batting practice seemed to go kind of long, so there was there was a lot going on out there. Dennis was he was in high spirits. We suspected that he just was riding the wave of all these Rays autographs that he'd gotten, because he went to the Rays game with us on Tuesday. Not with us, but he was there. I had mentioned, in the last episode that he went to, he was in Indianapolis doing Cubs AAA on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, he went back again to the White Sox stadium. So, being, it's like Superman being on the planet Earth, like Dennis being retired. It's like retirement is like his version of our sun, and it's just like the guy's he's got superpowers now. But anyway,
he can also go back in time to be able to make it from Chicago to Indianapolis back to Chicago for a day game. Like it's like we were doing the math on that, and it's like he was in so he probably went to a night game in Indianapolis, and it's not that far away, but it's exhausting to go to a night game, a day game after a night game, and to travel and to even to go to one game at the White Sox park. So he was at the White Sox, then he went all the way home, went to Indianapolis, came all the way back home, and then went to the Cubs the morning after. We assumed that he did not stay for that Indianapolis game.
No,
that probably helped, but still, it was a Herculean feat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when players have to play a day game after a night game, they don't have the option of leaving the night game before it starts. So,
yeah, right.
A little bit of a different thing. But anyway, so Dennis was telling us the story about Nicky Lopez, and he's like, yeah, Nicky Lopez. He says to me, didn't I get you last night? And I said, if you were at the Sox park last night, then you got me. But if you weren't, then you didn't get me. And hey, if a guy asks me if he got me, I'll be honest. I'll say, yes, you did. Can you get me again? And if the guy doesn't want to, that's not a problem. But don't say you got me if you didn't get me. It was an all-time rant.
Yeah, he's like, if he says no, then all right, thank you. Thank you for the first one or something. Yeah, I know. It was like a whole little aside from Dennis.
It was, and I like the fact that if a guy asks, did you get me? I'll say yes. Could you do it again? Yeah. Nowhere does it factor in. It's like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't get this guy a second night in a row. It's just can you do it again?
Yeah, it's like, yes, I'm sorry for trying to trick you into signing for me again. I'll learn my lesson for next time. It's like, no, you did get me. That doesn't change anything. Sign my card.
And this is Nicky Lopez, man. I mean, I'm sure Nicky Lopez has signed for Dennis 30 times because he played for the White Sox.
Yeah, and he came through with the Royals and
Yep.
No, I was it to you later? I was saying it maybe when we were watching the game. I was like, well, yeah, no, he probably didn't get Nicky Lopez Nicky Lopez probably didn't get him the day before, but he probably got him like 10 times, you know, before. So he probably recognized him he's probably had a sneaking suspicion, like, I've signed for this guy before. And it's like he was like gaslighting him, because it's like, yeah, it might not have been the day before, but it's ingrained in Nicky Lopez's mind that he signed for this fucking gray-haired, goateed crazy man.
Yeah, no, Jeremy, like gaslighting a player is definitely like a Dennis strategy. It's like he did with Jose Ramirez. Like, hey, I know you'll sign for me because you always sign.
I know we should say that to someone, like to like Dansby Swanson or something, just to see if it works.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe. So then he was ranting about that, and then he got to ranting about Josh and Joe Evans Jr.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was complaining about them, you know, because they've started doing the hotel and stuff, and he's like, yeah, they got Caminero at Chipotle. I don't believe him. They got 4 James Wood. And was he insinuating that they were like forging autographs? Is that what he was trying to say?
Yeah. There's
okay.
And then he goes, yeah. That's what I'm like. He's like, yeah. And I said something like, yeah. I heard something about that. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and they're trying to say, no. You know, stop spreading. He's like, hey, stop spreading rumors about us. He's like, yeah. Well, it was your friend himself who said that he was forging signatures. So
it's
like,
crazy,
he was going through this whole thing. I guess I didn't get into it, but like, I was tipped into the potential forgeries.
Seriously?
By another podcast regular. It's funny. God, Jack, it's so crazy. It's like, first of all, it's funny that Joe Evans Jr. is the only one who's still being used, like who's still getting like a moniker, like being referred to by a moniker, because now we've pretty much said everyone's real name. And, you know, who knows, like, at some point these people are going to find out about this, and we're going to have to like answer for all this. But it was Anthony. It was Anthony who said that that Joe Evans Jr. tried to sell his cousin a forged Pete Crow Armstrong autograph.
Wow, really?
And this was when we were at Arrivals for the Braves, and we were waiting for Acuna. He like, it was just me, Anthony's cousin. It wasn't even, his cousin wasn't even there yet, I don't think. It was like us two, and then Joe Evans Jr. and Josh. And he pulls me over. Anthony pulls me to the side, and he goes like, "Hey man, this guy, this guy sold my cousin a fake Pete Crow Armstrong." And he's like, "So man, fuck that." He's like, you don't fuck around like that. And like, then me and him got in this whole conversation. It's like, hey, yeah, exactly. You don't want to make any enemies. Like, you're gonna be around these people. I'm saying stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be around these people every day, so you don't want to make any enemies, and you don't want to like jeopardize your spots. It's like, yeah, you just don't do stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't do that. And like, and I know that Dennis heard that from Anthony. Now,
sure, Anthony
is in some ways he's a good guy, and in a lot of ways he like helps get guys over, but he's also a little goofy too. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm not taking any side on this, but it's like,
sure,
I'm pretty sure Anthony is the only source on all of this. So I don't really know what side to come down on. And also we like don't have a dog in the fight. So it's like, we're just third party observers / podcasters who are broadcasting about all this to the public. But yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting, because you mentioned Dennis has like the same sources, whatever. So okay,
Anthony
that's
is
interesting.
his source. I'll just put it that way. Yeah. So take that with what you will.
There you go. But yeah, hearing the words "they got Caminero at Chipotle" and him being mad about it was pretty funny. He was jealous.
Yeah.
If that actually happened
at Chipotle. Now Joe Owens Jr. did get the Dawson at Canes. At Raising Canes, he got Andre Dawson. But Dawson at Canes, yes. Caminero at Chipotle, questionable. So just for all those keeping score at home, that's where we're at.
Sure.
He also got Mallory Swanson in the 1914 club or whatever it's called. So yeah,
that's crazy.
Dennis also got into a thing about black pen versus blue pen, which is something I wanted to get into on this podcast earlier.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he said something about like, this was a while ago that this happened, so it's a little fuzzy for me. But like, he said something like, yeah, blue pen, black pen, I don't care. He's like, I don't care anymore. Like, whatever. And he's like, the black pen actually looks good. So like I don't care if what kind of pen they use. Oh, you know why it was? It's because I think again didn't have a Sharpie with him.
Oh my God.
And he's like he only had a black, and he's like, yeah, I'm working with this today. And I'm like I got a blue one if you want it. Like, and he's like, nah, it's fine. And then he goes into like, yeah, blue pen or black pen, I don't care. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me or whatever. So,
wow.
Now the funny thing about that, Jack, is like like a month or so ago, I made a note like to talk about black pen versus blue pen.
Sure.
And now I don't really remember what my point was because it was like so long ago.
Well, I guess maybe it's just a matter of taste. I mean, I strongly prefer blue pen, and I think most of all of my autographs that are like top loaded and saved in my box are blue pen. I think there's definitely instances where like you can get a different color pen just because it's going to look better on the card. Like there's this Jeremiah Estrada Heritage card where like the background is all black, so it's like you have to get like a light blue, maybe a gold marker for that. But yeah, generally speaking, I think that black looks like a facsimile.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah, I think the blue pops more. I remember a player asked me like, he's like, "What's the difference?" Like, and I'm just like, I think it's just preference. Like, just blue looks better. Like people think blue looks better. Yeah, because like I think early on, like I did like when the South Bend Cubs did like a team signing on the field, like they did something like that. But yeah, I don't. I wish I'll probably bring it up in the off season if I can remember what my point was about it. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me one way or the other. I mean, I carry the blue pen, but yeah, like Jack, I think I was looking at my autographs, and the first time I got Hunter Green, it was also with a black pen.
Interesting.
So I think he like maybe picks a black pen and runs with it, probably because he knows people don't like the black pen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't even realize that happened. But it's.
Did you ever get him with a blue?
Well, when you bullied him into using the blue pen.
Right. Yeah, that took a lot of work to get him to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You should have been. Now that the Cubs have let the Reds back into the wild card race, at least at the time of recording here. The playoffs are going to be going on by the time this episode comes out, unfortunately. But
yep.
But the Cubs should hire you, Jack, to fucking push around Hunter Green because
yes,
you owned him like the way he owned the Cubs the other day when he won him. So, yeah, so the Cubs could use you if they end up facing them in the playoffs.
Yeah, good Lord, swept in a 4-game series, man. Yeah, but anyhow, you're right, Jeremy, about the playoffs. Okay, a couple other things from batting practice. So Yandy Diaz, this isn't a long thing, but Yandy Diaz was in the infield, and he started throwing baseballs at a coach who was like hitting. Well, he was hitting fungos. He was by home plate, right?
Yeah, it was just one ball, but he Yandy Diaz was taking infield at first base, and one of the coaches was hitting them grounders, and he hit a grounder to Yandy Diaz. Then he had to like kind of run in and get like as if it were like a swinging bunt or something, and Diaz fielded it as if like they were trying to throw out a guy at home, and he took it and he actually whipped it at home plate where the coach was, and the coach had to like jump out of the way. And I thought it was pretty funny because like he was just messing around because I think he was laughing afterwards, but like he really threw it at the guy, and like it was more kind of horsing around, kind of like the football throwing in the outfield.
Yep.
Like the Rays are, I guess they're not technically out of it. At least they were not technically out of it at this point. They were maybe one game under 500, but
yeah,
they seem to be just goofing off a little bit.
Yep.
And so it was kind of funny to see. But that was only the only instance there. So yeah, at this point we had moved from the outfield to the infield because there wasn't really much meat left on the bones out in the outfield. So we were in the infield. We were trying to maybe get some guys from like BP or from fielding. And then a guy comes in from the outfield, and he must have been in the bullpen because we didn't see him earlier. And
and it turns out, it was Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
Chris was nice enough to give me a heritage card of him. I think it's a 2023 updates. But it looks really good. It's like a really nice card to get signed.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get him, and Chris had mentioned that Kevin Kelly was a really good signer. And it turned out that he was super nice. So yeah, I made him and I called him over, and so we were kind of in like the second row, Jeremy, and there were these there was a father and son, presumably, who were in the first row. So they were right by the opening of the net.
In Rays uniforms, right?
In Rays uniforms. So, the kid might have had a full, like, Caminero baseball jersey on with baseball pants. And like a baseball hat. It was lame. But, yeah, they were standing too wide and just completely blocking the entrance to the opening of the net. And so I call for Kelly, and he's like, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, I've got time. And he comes over to the net, and I'm thinking that these guys, this father and son, are going to move from me because I call him over.
Or get an autograph. Or get
an autograph, but they do neither. And so Kelly just kind of, like, waits there for, like, probably a second or two. Yeah. And then I have to take it upon myself to say, hey, excuse me, guys, excuse me. And, like, I was able to get through and get the autograph. But it's like, what are you slugs doing? Like, why are you standing here if a guy is going to come over and, like, either get an autograph or get out of the way so I can get one?
Well, and also, like, just like move. I mean, clearly you pretty much yelled in their ears. You were right behind him.
Yes.
So you yelled for Kelly, and he comes over, and they know that they're not getting his autograph. So, like, and they know that you're trying to get it. So, like, what do they think is going to happen? So it was more like, I wouldn't say it was like 3 seconds. It was like 2001, 2002, 2003. And it's like, hey guys, like, move. And, like, so then we moved, and, like, yeah, I mean, I have the same card as you, Jack. I got it. It's a 23 Heritage High number.
Okay, yeah.
And he was like, they were like, yeah, can we get in there? And then they moved. They're like, oh, and, like, and then, but the kid had a ball too. Like, I don't know why he didn't get this guy. Like,
no,
it was just confusing. And so, like, yeah, it was like 3 pregnant seconds, like of just like, Jesus, like, go, move, get out of here, like, So yeah, it was a head scratch. It was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, it was frustrating. So, that at least we got him, so that looked good, and thanks to Chris for the Heritage High number. There were a couple other things. Chandler Simpson.
Yeah, well, yeah. So Chandler Simpson was around. Dennis. This is another thing that Dennis said. He goes, like, very early on, like, we called for one guy and he didn't stop, and Dennis goes, like, these guys are tired of signing. They've been signing all week. He's like, they don't want to sign no more. They're tired. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. There's, like, nothing to say to that.
Sure.
So then, like, like, we were in the infield now, and there's this guy behind me. He was probably maybe in his early 20s or something, and he goes, like, he's like, Chandler, and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to get Chandler Simpson, and he's like, that's who I'm trying to get. Like, he walked by, and then, like, he goes to me, he's like, because look at this, and, like, he shows me a picture of Chandler Simpson signing autographs, and he's like, look back there. And then, like, there's some guy leaning over the crowd of people who has a ball, and he's wearing, like, the same hat, the same glasses, and it's like the guy who's talking to me, he's in the picture, like, and he's like, yeah, so I got to get him to sign this. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. Like, that's nice and all. So my question is, like, why weren't you at the White Sox park where they were, like, handing out autographs? But
yeah.
So then, like, so he's like, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, man. Hopefully he signs, and he's back there. He's just, like, kind of standing back there, and then, like, just commotion, different things are going on, different players are going by, people are signing, Kevin Kelly signing, whatever. And then Chandler Simpson does kind of come off the field, and he's coming right towards us, and I look back at this guy, and this guy's, like, looking somewhere in the infield, like, just, like, completely distracted. And I go, like, here's Simpson, and he goes, like, huh, what? And he's like, oh, Chandler. And then by that point he was, like, already in the dugout, and it's like,
oh my God,
it's like, dude, like, did you want this guy or not? Like, you clearly were not, you didn't have your head in the game. So, yeah, I don't know. So that was just a goof. This guy was like, yeah.
That's like Cable Guy talking about Bo Jackson when he, like, finally gets a reaction from somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
The picture you were describing, Jeremy, it's almost like that joke in Airplane where there's like that, they show Lloyd Bridges and he's like, like sitting on his desk and he's smoking a cigarette, and behind him there's like a picture where he's doing the exact same pose, like sitting on a desk, and smoking a cigarette. Yeah. And then within that picture, there's another picture of him like sitting on the desk and smoking a cigarette. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like a similar thing.
Yeah, most definitely. It's like Simpson would probably be like, "What the hell? Like, did someone just take this or something?" Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then so he didn't get signed, so I don't know.
No.
So again, so we were down kind of like huddled up in this aisle, and like it's kind of weird. Like they make people not stand in the first row. It's weird. Yep. I always thought that it was just because like they didn't want to sully the first row for the like fucking hotshots who go and sit there during the game.
Right.
But then the guy was saying, I think it was at this game, he was saying like, we can't have anyone in the first row, people. He's like, foul balls come over and it could hit you. So like it's I never realized that that's why they have that, because if someone hits the net and they're not paying attention, it's gonna, even through the net, it'll hit a person in the front row. So so anyway, so we're all like bunched up. So then at some point when people sign, they have to like be like, okay, everyone back out of the first row, like go up the aisle. So we're kind of like all bunched up in this aisle, and there's one lady, she was wearing Rays gear, I think, and she had like a baseball in her hand, and she goes like, where's Richie? Where's Richie? Where's Palacios? I need Palacios. And then like, whatever, he like was taking BP or something. And then like, they were trying to like push people back. And like, I think Dennis goes like, all right, everyone, like move back. And he's like, this guy was here first, but I was, and then he looked at me and him, and he's like, he looked at me and himself, and he's like, yeah, we were kind of about in the same spot. And so he was like, so I'll just go next or something. So he used that to like go in front of me. It's like, but then this lady goes like, and he's like, all right, everybody move back. Like, we'll all be able to get signatures or something if someone comes over to sign. And this lady goes like, oh, well, if Palacios comes over, I'll push and I'll shove and I'll force my way in there. She's like, I got a ball here that he promised that he'd sign for me for charity. So I'll push and shove. And Dennis, who was like right to my left, he kind of says it out loud. He says this part out loud and then the second part quiet, but he goes like, push and shove. He's like, that doesn't sound like the right thing to do. Like, like kind of chastising her, but kind of like saying like, you sound crazy, lady. That's basically what he's trying to say, is like, right, you sound crazy, lady. But he's like, push and shove. That don't sound like the right thing to do. No. So it was just funny to hear that. And then he kind of kept going. He's like, push and shove, lady. He's like, we don't need to push and shove. He's like, everyone will get a chance to get their thing signed. And then he goes on to me and he's like, yeah, because you start pushing and shoving over here, pretty soon they're gonna shut it down, and then no one's gonna get autographs. And he was just like going on his own like diatribe, his own like, on his high horse about autograph etiquette.
That's one of his big hobby horses, is like them shutting the whole thing down.
Right.
I've heard him tell, he's like, and it's not the regular graphers, it's these people from out of town. They come in here and they ruin everything.
Yeah. He also has said, in recent weeks, he's like, yeah, all the kids got books now. They all got books because they see it on TV, they see it on the internet. They all got books now. Very interesting.
Well, it's like they're just trying to be as successful as you are, Right. It's like it's the best way to do it. That's funny. And Jeremy, I did see him directing traffic. I'm glad you heard that too, because those two the father and son were in front of us, and so when they told us all to move back to the second row, Dennis was saying to them, he's like, okay, so you guys were in front of me, and then I'm behind you. He's like, just Dennis being quote unquote fair to these people.
Right.
Yeah, like his code of ethics. The whole thing was funny, and it felt very White Sox too, like just in the fact that we were all bunched up there as well. Maybe not quite as claustrophobic. All of that played out, and then we looked more towards the bullpen to see if there was any action there, and we spotted Drew Rasmussen, which was cool because he was a guy that I needed. And Jeremy, I know you got him before, but I'm sure you wanted him.
I didn't have him.
Oh shit! You'd never gotten him, huh?
No.
Okay, yeah, nice. Well, that's a good one then.
I got JP Fireeisen, which I get them confused too.
Yeah, same, because I think they maybe were both in the Brewers system at one point. Okay, but that's cool though. So anyway, we spotted him, and so we drifted over to the the outfield area where the net ends to try to get. No, actually, it was still by the net, but it was more towards the foul pole. Anyway, some kids beat us there. And he starts signing for these kids. The kids ask him, like, do you have time to sign? Sure. And then there's one adult man before us. And, like, after he signs for these kids, the adult puts his card under the net to try to get it signed. And Rasmussen stops and he goes, the kids were polite enough to ask me if I would sign. And, like, I felt bad for this guy because, like, Rasmussen kind of pwned him, as the kids, I guess, would have said like 10 years ago. But, he just kind of made a fool out of this guy. Yeah. And then so he ended up and it wasn't like, oh, haha, like, I was just joking, like, gotcha, let me sign your thing. Like, the guy, like, sheepishly asked him, like, well, can you do it? And then Rasmussen was like, yeah, sure. And so I was a little intimidated, like, when I went up there. Like, I wasn't sure what to do or what to make of it. So I think I said, like, Drew, do you have time for one more? But I was a little scared, man. And normally when a guy's signing, like, if you see him sign for somebody, you don't have to, like, ask him again. I mean, sometimes, Jeremy, you and I will be like, hey, do you got time for one more? But also if he's signing, he's sort of just running. He's running with it, right? Yeah. So, like, there's no need to ask him 100 times if he can. So right. I kind of side with the grapher on this one, but whatever.
No, me too. It seemed like he, like, emasculated this guy for no reason.
No.
Like, yeah. And I think the guy was already on one knee, like, because you have to kind of, like, kneel down to, like, get your book under the net. And so the guy was already, like, kneeling before him, and it's like he's like he just like unnecessarily, like, just dragged this guy out on the carpet. So yeah, it was a little goofy, and it was like it almost seemed like he didn't want to sign for the guy, and like then like when the guy asked him, like, it almost seemed like he wanted the guy to be like, oh yeah, well, fuck you then, and then, like, leave, and then Rasmussen would be like, okay, good, we're done here. But he asked him, and he's like, yes, I will. Like, like, do you have time? Will you sign for me then? He's like, yes, I will. And it was
I suspect, Jeremy? It's almost like, because he signed for the kids, right? And so it almost seemed like he made a fuss, like, all right, I'm going to sign for the adults, but I don't really want to.
Yeah. There was some sort of, like, statement behind that, and I don't quite know what it was, but we did get his autograph nonetheless. But
yes.
I'll say this: I'm glad I got him, so I don't need to ask him again.
Yeah, that's for real. He was one of the last guys to come in from the bullpen, and after he went in, graphing was pretty much over. There wasn't really anything else going on.
Yeah.
So we decided to get a scorecard, get some food, and get to our seats. This game was very well attended, Jeremy. I don't think there was a freaking empty seat in the house.
It was some sort of, like, school day or something, like some sort of school field trip day or something, and so, like, any sort of open seats were sold to schools, and we had, like, we had row, let's say, 7 seats, 3 and 4. So that means there was 2 people next to us, and then seat number 5 was a little kid who was part of, like, a group of people. So I'm right? Or was it that, were those people, or was it that party of people, or was it kids right next to you?
So right next to me was, like, a group of kids.
Yes,
it was like 10 kids all in a row with, like, a chaperone.
Okay, so no, I mean, the whole section was, so, like, their whole, like, blob of kids ended at seat 5, and Jack had seat 4. So
yes,
and so we clearly didn't want to sit by these kids.
No,
and we figured they would just be, like, yelling, screeching nightmares. The irony of the whole thing is that it was probably the most well-behaved group of kids at a baseball game ever in the history.
Yes.
In the history of the sport. So
yes,
it wasn't a big deal. But, like, so basically we said seats 1 and 2 to start off the game, and I think it was, like, the bottom of the first. A husband and wife and little baby show up, and the guy goes like, yeah, guys, we're 1 and 2. We move over. And as we're moving over, and so they're like, they're a younger couple. I would say they were probably in their maybe early 40s, maybe late 30s, but youngish people. And, like, again, it was like a fucking, like, barely born baby. Like, this fucking baby, like, seemed like it was just fucking, whatever, like, just fresh out of the whatever, the newborn unit at I can't think of the term, but
sure,
whatever. And so they sat down, and, like, as we're moving, I did say to the guy, I'm like, you sure you don't want to sit by the kids? And like, that was maybe too high concept to say in like a really quick, exchange. The guy just ignored me. He didn't say anything. And so then I sat down and I said to Jack, I'm like, well, fuck this guy. He didn't even like respond to my joke.
Yeah, my first impression of the guy, too, is he was kind of a wiener when he asked us to move.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, whatever. It's not pleasant to, like, get booted from your seats. But, like, still, like, the guy had no sympathy. He just was like, yeah, we're sitting here.
I think they were season ticket holders, or they were, like, in a group with somebody. Yeah, I overheard him talking. So I do think, like, whenever you get bounced, and honestly, I probably would be the same way if I had season tickets and someone was sitting in my seats. Sure. I probably would be annoyed. I mean, that doesn't give you an excuse to be a wiener, which I wholeheartedly agree that he was a wiener.
Yeah.
But I can kind of see when you're a season ticket holder that happening. But my whole thing is like, hey, look around you, dude. There's fucking 200 kids in this section. Like, no one in their right mind would want to sit right next to them. Nor should on the other side, should like an administrator want like the general public sitting next to I'd want the people away from the kids. Just let's keep it all separate. So it was just for everyone's good. And I think these guys, these two were maybe just not even aware of that situation.
Right. No, it was it was rough.
Yeah. So I was steaming a little bit at these people. Like, I was kind of annoyed. I was hoping they would leave because of the baby, like after like 2 innings or something.
Sure.
A couple of things happened in the game, and the guy actually did chime in. I think he overheard us and heard that we were like serious like baseball people. So like he kind of joined in on us a couple times. Like there was like I think it was like a little dribbler up the middle that ended up going for a double. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Dansby Swanson hit it. And we were saying something about that, like, oh, was that a error or was that a double or whatever? And then the guy goes like, yeah, right. You're just your routine infield grounder double, right? And and he was trying to signify with us that he knew and he knew that we knew. So whatever, that was okay. And then and then this next thing happened, and he was kind of laughing about this, and so like I think he ended up redeeming himself a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was laughing about this next thing, so he noticed it?
He could like, he even like said something at one point. So let's just like you can just say what happened.
Yeah, sure, Jeremy. Well, this is another instance of like, a photo with runners in scoring position, but it was two brothers seemingly, and then their older parents. So yeah, these guys were like maybe a little younger than us, like in their early 30s. But they stood up in the aisle, and we're in the 400 section, so we're kind of high up. So it's like the aisle is just a straight shot up, and so they stand up during the game, because like of course it has to be during the game, and the reason they're probably doing that is because between innings people are using the aisles, but during the game nobody's using the aisles, so of course these guys have a clear shot to stand up there and get a picture. I guess not thinking at all that it's going to completely block somebody's view of home plate, especially since like these are two like grown ass men, like it's hard to see over them. And so of course in the classic vein of this happening, it takes like over a minute to take this picture. Well, it was just annoying.
Yeah, let me interject real quick, Jack. Like at the beginning of this, they did the fucking thing where they stood up before their business was situated. So yes. Like it seems to me like what happened is that they stood up and they were trying to get out the aisle. So like it was aisle, dad, mom, two brothers. They stood up and like they're trying to go through the aisle, and they're leaning over, talking, having a conversation with these parents sitting down. And it seemed like they were going back and forth about, do you want to do this or you want to do that? Okay, you this? Are you sure you want to do that? Well, why don't we do this? And like they're having this whole thing while they're standing, and the two parents are sitting and also blocking their way out of the aisle. So yep. I think they were like talking about like, okay, well, I think they're like, okay, well, we're gonna take a picture. Do you want to take it, or do you want to be in it, or like, do you want us to get someone else to take it, or do you want to like, just take turns or whatever? And again, this whole conversation was happening while they were standing, and like it was a long kind of conversation. It wasn't just like, hey, do you want to take this picture? Yeah, okay, I'll take it. All right, go ahead, and then like do it. And also, the dad is like older, and he looked like a doofus, and like he didn't look like he knew how to operate a phone or take a picture. So
no,
yeah, okay, so sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's it, Jeremy. And then so again, like I think we also got maybe different incarnations of the picture. Like,
oh yeah,
I think maybe they both got a solo one. They got one with the mom. It was just a whole thing.
No,
and then the brother. I'll just say this now, just to get it out there. That one of the brothers was wearing this stupid shirt that said like any team could have a drought of 100 years.
Yeah,
or it said something like that.
Yeah, I think it was. It's like any team could have a drought of 108 years or something.
Yeah.
And then then it seemed like they were standing and they got the mom to come up, and then it seemed like they were trying to convince the dad to come in and take the picture, but the whole time they're standing there with their back to the field, blocking mostly me. I don't know how much they were blocking you, Jack, but
not really. I was just annoyed by it. They weren't really blocking me.
Yeah, they were blocking my view of home plate, and then we were complaining out loud, and then the guy next to me kind of like. He kind of like heard us and kind of was like looking at us and kind of like he was kind of like laughing, but then also like shaking his head. And he's like, geez, like these guys, like, what the heck, guys? And at some point it was going on for so long, so freaking long. I know we talked about this before, and I felt like that one was shorter compared to this one, but it was going on for so freaking long. And the dad was like all slow to take the picture and stuff. I leaned forward and I cupped my hand around my mouth and I go like, hey guys, can we save that for between innings? And like they didn't hear me, and then, that's right. And then I go like nothing, and then that's when the guy next to me laughed. He's like, okay, oh jeez. And so yeah, I felt like he redeemed himself a little bit, but they like finished this one picture and then like got up and went and got food or something. But it was insane. And then it was freaking insane. And then like I think like later on, even later on in the game, they got up and did it again. Like they got the picture with like the dad, or they got a picture with all of them, and they made someone else take it, and then they like left for good, I think.
No, it was bad, Jeremy. But at least I guess that guy, kind of signified with you. So that's a positive. But yeah, just another. I don't know if we officially counted the number of photos with runners in scoring position, but that was definitely another one.
It didn't, Jack. You know what? I think when they first started, there was no runner in scoring position, and then they got runners in scoring. I'm serious, like because I was gonna say like I think I even said like. This doesn't even count as photos with runners in scoring position. And then like the Cubs got a guy on like in scoring position or something, and then it's like, okay, well now it's different. So I was getting like, I'm getting all flustered about it again, just like recounting it. And this was like 10 days ago that this happened.
Yeah, no, it was not good. There were a few fun things with the scoreboard. We had another Dansby Swanson classic answer.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I can't even remember what the question was for this one.
Damn it, what was it? Was I think it was something like should those new headlights be legal or not?
Sure.
It was like some kind of like new. This is a weird ass question, but it was something about like new headlights, like. Should they be legal or not, or brights? Should they be legal or not? And they asked a bunch. They ask a bunch of players. There's a variety of answers from different players, and then Dansby goes like, "Nope. They should dim the headlights. They should dim them. They're too bright."
Yep.
And of course, like so we're on like Dansby Swanson watch now of like curmudgeonly Dansby Swanson responses to these otherwise lighthearted questions. So yeah, of course he had like the curmudgeon answer.
Yeah. So just another example. So yeah, we'll keep notating those as they come along.
Yeah.
So we got out to the bus, and I guess first of all, just to get the graphing out of the way. There was not much action at all at the bus. It was really bad, but I needed Brian Anderson, the former pitcher, who does TV for the he does broadcasting for the Rays now. So I called him over and he signed right away, which was cool. Pretty nice of him. He didn't know like how to move the barricade, so I can't remember if like he moved it or someone moved it for him at the last instance. But anyway, I got him. And Jeremy, you got him a couple years ago, right?
I think the last time the Rays were in town, yeah.
Yeah, so that was good. There was this guy who was next to me, and he kept asking me questions. He had like a weird haircut. I don't really know how to describe this guy, but he was just, he was older than us by a few years. He had mentioned he just had a baby, but this guy was asking me all these questions. But at the same time, it was like he knew everything about graphing, and he'd graphed here like a million times before. So I didn't understand. Have you seen this guy before? Because I swear to God, I've never seen him, or like if I have, it just never registered.
No, I don't think I did. And he was just like he was like asking all these questions, but then like reaffirming. He's like, oh yeah, I know, or something, or like I've done that before. Okay, yeah, of course, yeah, I know that, I did that. And it's like, hey, dude, do you not know or do you know? And if you do know, why the fuck are you asking me and making me answer you when you already freaking know? Jack, this guy was going on. So do you remember some of the things he asked you, Jack?
Well, it was like, like, what is this bus going to do? Like, is this bus going to pull up or something? Or like, when do you think the players are going to come out? And then I would answer him and he'd be like, oh, yeah. That's what it was for the Mariners like 2 weeks ago. It's like, well, come on, dude. If you were there 2 weeks ago, why are you asking me about it now?
And, and then he goes, I remember now. He goes, the first thing he said was like, oh, I don't like this. What's up with this barricade? There's 2 barricades. Oh, I don't like this. He's like, this wasn't like this before. And then he's like, when did they start this? And then like you're like, yeah, Dodgers series. He's like, oh wow, okay. He's like, no, this is no good. He's like, do players ever come through? And you're like, yeah, they do. Sometimes he's like, really? He's like, when? Are you sure that they come through? And it's like, yeah. And then you're like, it just depends on like the team or whatever. He's like, oh, okay, I guess so. And then I overheard him talking to like his wife or whoever he was with. And I think she was saying, like, do you want to stay? And I heard him say, like, I don't like this barricade. I don't have a good feeling about this. I just don't like this. Like, we got to go. And it's like, yeah. And so he was peppering me with so many goddamn questions that I wanted to lean over and I wanted to be like, hey, enough. Leave him alone. Like, I wanted to rescue you because, like, this guy was, like, he was annoying me. And it's like, if he was annoying me, I had to imagine he was really annoying you.
No, it was insane, man. And so then, I mentioned the Dodgers series, and he's like, oh, because of the Muncy thing. And it's just like, first of all, you knew exactly, like, what again, you're asking a question you already know the answer to. Second, I'm still baffled at, like, how viral that Muncy clip went. That's just insane to me.
Yeah, no, it did. It definitely did. I mean, it was all over Twitter and TikTok, so, yeah.
But anyway, so this guy, I mean, he was even saying how he did the hotel for the Mariners. And he's like, yeah, the one night we went there, like the fire alarm went off and we didn't get anybody.
That's right.
I was just like, come on, dude. But anyway, like, thankfully, I think maybe the guy left or like, once we went over to the Cubs when we realized none of the Rays were going to sign, like we just kind of lost the guy for a minute. But then I think we were going to try to get a guy through Gallagher Way, or I think we decided once we got over by the Cubs bus, we were like, this isn't great. Let's go through Gallagher Way to like try to go by the hotel. And as we're going through Gallagher Way, all of a sudden this guy like comes out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, you'll never guess what? Yeah, I was just over by Marquee over there by the corner, and I fell ass backwards into Carlos Pena. Yeah. He's like, I just saw him. I just fell ass backwards into Carlos Pena. Yeah, and we were like, yeah, great.
He's like, I'm like, oh, Carlos Pena. And he's like, hey, I got a Gold Glove ball. So, yeah, I'll take that anytime. And it's like, all right, dude. Like, fuck. Like, this must have been what Carlos Pena felt like when this guy approached him. He's like, Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, man.
It was definitely.
And hey, I'd like to get Carlos Pena, and I actually ordered a card for him that I would have to dig up, but still, like, not. It was just stupid.
Yeah, for sure. It was annoying. Real quick before we exited the Rays, no one signed, and guys who were signing on Tuesday were denying. So it was kind of a bummer. We were saying like. If it weren't for that Tuesday White Sox, we would have had a whole entire, even the BP on Friday, we would have had a whole entire different interpretation of the Rays, how the Rays were. So that was kind of crazy. The only guy I got at the bus was Joey Gerber, pitcher who they had just called up that day.
Sure.
And I grabbed his card, or maybe they called him up the day before, but I managed to grab his card. And I called for him, and he had like 3 bottles of water on him or something. And I called for him, and he started going to the bus, and he makes this like pain face, like, okay, I could do it. And then he came over and he signed for me. And I think I was, maybe he signed for like some kid on his baseball, but like I was the only guy who had him. So I got him, which was nice, but it's like, I barely know who the guy is. I just happened to find his card. So,
sure.
But at least I got somebody there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, you mentioned you having a completely different interpretation of the Rays. Like, yeah, man, if we had just done the bus, could you imagine how much we would be saying that they suck?
Yeah, I know. It was bad. So we didn't even wait around to see who else came out on Friday. Like we just got out of there. I didn't need any of the coaches. You got the coaches you needed. I think Cole Sulzer was the only guy who hadn't come out at that point, maybe. And we were just whatever.
Yep.
So we went over to the hotel, and we weren't really sure who had come out yet or who hadn't. But we were there, and this did happen, right? This day, right, Jack? This next thing on the list.
It sure did, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So the tough thing about going to the hotel when you, I'm sure we've said this before, when you haven't been at the bus, is that you don't know at the Cubs parking lot, is that you don't know who's come out and who hasn't come out. So anyway, we lucked out, and it turned out that Taylor Rogers had not come out. So he was walking over to the hotel. We were right there, and we were in a prime spot to get him. Now, Jeremy, you'd already been rejected by him once in this same exact spot. I brought his card this time. But there were a lot of people around, and we sort of blamed it that last time on the fact that there were a lot of people around. So I was like, okay, I got to be subtle right now. And so, as he was passing me, I, kind of leaned toward him, and out of the side of my mouth for some reason, I said, hey, Taylor, do you got time to sign one? And it's like he just walked right by, and Jeremy, you were like, yeah, I think that was a little too subtle, man. And, yeah, I agree. It's like, for a guy who's already probably not going to stop, it's like, that is not going to make him stop.
Yeah. It was funny. You said it like you were in an old an old gangster movie. Like you were trying to get into a speakeasy. You're like, all right, alcohol? Is this a wet bar back here or something? Whatever the fucking saying would be. Right.
I mean, I almost sounded like W.C. Fields when I said it or something like that.
Yeah. It was funny. And he just went on.
Yep.
I don't think we said it on the podcast, but I had a similar situation. We were walking by, and I saw Carson Kelly and his wife.
Yep.
With their pushing a stroller, and I kind of did a low key, hey Carson, you got time to sign? And he said, not right now. And so I thought that definitely discretion is the better thing to do there. But there was a lot of traffic noise and people walking around talking, and so it just got lost, I think.
It did. But oh well, we'll still have a few more shots at him. I think this year. So hopefully. So more to come with that. But Jeremy, I think we're almost. I think that's about it for this one.
Yeah, that's it for this one. It seems like we've been talking about the Rays for a month now, but
it does.
But and so the regular season is winding down. Cubs seem to be doing their best to try to not get any home games in the wild card round, but it seems like they probably will. So I don't know. We got 2 more series coming up here as of recording, but when this is out, these will all already have happened. So we'll all know where the Cubs stand at this point. So I don't know. Might not have any more games recaps, but we should have some graphing recaps. So it'll all come in due time, and then the playoffs will be upon us, and we'll be able to talk about that. But but that'll do it for this episode at least.
All right. So for Rain Delay Theater, I'm Jack Swakowski,
and I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
We'll see you next time.
Later.